Okay, so we'll start from the seated posture. We'll start with some breathing. We're going to work with alternate nostril breathing today to just bring us into more of a balanced, centered state. And then we're going to work with the neck and the shoulders and make our way down into the hips and do a few standing postures for the legs. So we can first just start by getting comfy. So finding your seat on the block or the mat or whatever we're sitting on, the ammo box in Ruth's case. So feeling into the sits bones and then lengthening up through the spine, just like we have a cord pulling us from the top of the head. And then we'll relax the shoulders, moving the shoulder blades slightly in towards the spine so there's a sense of expansion through the heart center. You can have the palms up or palms down, resting on the thighs. And then we'll drop the chins just slightly to elongate the back of the neck. And taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. And exhaling out through the mouth. We'll just take a few more cleansing breaths like this. Allowing the shoulders to drop, the face relax, and just the tension from the top of the head, the body just flowing down into the legs and into the earth. It sounds like we kind of had a busy week here, so we're just allowing ourselves to slow down, come into our body, come into this present moment. Beautiful, and then we'll go ahead and start the alternate nostril breathing. So to make the mudra, you just make like the peace sign. And then you bring those two fingers down and bring the other fingers up. So you have the thumb and the ring finger and the pinky. And we'll use the thumb to block the right nostril. We'll inhale through the left for 8 counts, block both nostrils. So with the other finger, retain for 16 counts, and then we'll exhale through the right for 8, 8 counts. So 4, 16, and 8. 4 for the inhalation, 16 hold, and then 8 for the exhalation. Don't worry about counting, I will cue. So here we go. So blocking the right nostril and inhaling through the left. And blocking both nostrils, retain the breath. And as we retain the breath, just see if we can just let our mind be still, resting in that gap. And then exhaling through the right. See if we can expel all the oxygen. Maybe squeeze the muscles in towards the spine a bit of the abdomen so we can really exhale. And then inhale through the right. Retain the breath. Exhale left. Inhale left. Holding. Exhale right. Inhale right. Holding the breath. Exhale left. We'll do one more round. Inhale left. Holding the breath. Exhale right. And inhale right. Final retention. And exhale left. We can can drop the hand and just take a few natural breaths. Just noticing how even just 5 minutes or so, this type of breathing just really calms the mind and brings us into more of a centered, relaxed state. Beautiful. We'll start with some stretching for the neck here. So inhaling and then exhaling, dropping the ear to the shoulder. It doesn't really matter which side we start on here. And then let's extend the opposite hand and then bring the other hand to the side of the head, inhaling and then exhaling, putting a little traction. That's it, to move the ear down towards the shoulder. And then we're really bringing this shoulder down and then moving, flexing through the hand, press through the palm and move the hand back a little. A nice stretch through the trapezius. One more breath. Excellent. And our next inhale, we'll rotate, move the chin down towards the armpit and place the hand a little more on the top of the head, inhaling and then exhaling, pressing the chin down towards the armpit. We're kind of resisting a little bit, pressing the head into the hand at the same time, so we really feel a nice stretch all the way down into the shoulder blade through that back neck muscle. And curiosity, you have to tell me what's going on with your neck, but hopefully this will help. If you feel any pain, any sharp pains, you want to back off or come out of the stretch. We'll take one more breath. We'll release and rotate the chin down towards the chest, and we can interlace the fingers in the back and then put some pressure on the back of the head, and then also lifting up a bit so we create some space in the neck vertebrae. So the chin is towards the chest, and then we're pressing and then pulling up a bit. And then depressing the shoulders away from your ears. One more breath. And then rotating the chin towards the opposite armpit, we'll release the hand, press through the palm, and put a little pressure on the head. Inhaling and exhaling down. And then inhaling, moving the ear to the shoulder, putting some pressure on the side of the head. And inhaling, exhaling. So we're really moving the shoulder down away from the ear. And inhale. And exhale, releasing back to center. And then we'll just roll a bit just in the front. So rotating the chin towards the armpit, inhaling and rolling on over to the other side. Exhaling and then dropping back in. Inhale, chin to the chest. Exhale, the other side. You can also rotate the chin up towards the ceiling a bit to stretch through the front of the neck. And then taking it back. Let's do one more each side. Excellent. Inhale back to center. And exhaling, relaxing down. Let's move into the shoulders. So inhaling the shoulders up towards the ears and exhaling, rolling them back, squeezing the shoulder blades. Really exaggerating that movement. Inhaling, exhaling, releasing the tension in those shoulders. Yeah, let's do one more here. we'll go the opposite direction. Squeeze the shoulder blades as we inhale and then roll them up and exhaling down. Good, let's do one more. Good, and then inhaling the arms all the way up. We can interlace those thumbs. I'm just gonna shift my camera here a little bit. And then interlocking the thumbs, spread the fingers and reach up out of the rib cage and the pelvis, wiggling, still tucking the tailbone under here so we're not arching through the low back. Tuck the tailbone, moving the navel in towards the spine as we're reaching up. Good, and then we'll grab onto the right wrist with the left hand, inhale, and then exhale, reaching up, pulling up, letting that shoulder kind of move out of the socket a little bit, and then we'll lean on over and rotate a bit through the torso, letting the gaze come up towards the ceiling. Engaging the core muscles a little here for stability, and then really stretching into that lat muscle. Excellent, inhale, center, and exhale. We'll grab onto the other side, so grabbing onto the left wrist with the right hand, inhale, and then exhale, pulling up the arm as we lean over and rotate a bit, looking up towards the left. Keep pressing down into your block and with the sits bones for stability here. Engage your core. One more breath. Breathing into that left rib cage. Good. Inhaling up to center. And exhaling down. We'll tee the arms out, and then right arm comes across with the palm facing behind. That's it. And then we'll bend the elbow. The left hand, put a little crook there so you can drop your arm into that crook in the elbow. And then we're going to try and depress this right shoulder down. And then look over the right shoulder. So we should feel a nice stretch here through the upper arm and the top of the shoulder, as well as through the neck. You can keep the fingers engaged, spreading the fingers. Looking good. Let's take one more breath. Inhale. And then exhale. We'll tee the arms back out. And then bring this left arm over. And the right arm catches the forearm. Inhale. And then exhale. Depress that left shoulder. Inhale. And exhale. Looking over the left shoulder as we're pulling this left arm in with the right arm and then lengthening a bit. So we kind of pull, like a little traction towards the right so you really elongate through that shoulder. One more breath. Good. I'm sorry. Inhale. And then exhale. We'll release the arms back out. Inhale on the next arm, bringing the arms up. Reaching up, we'll come into eagle arms. So on the exhale, crossing the right arm over the left. Again, trying to align the elbows. And then we try to get the fingertips to that right palm. If we're here, that's fine. If we can't get those fingertips to reach the palm, if we can, we just crook them in there. Inhale. And then exhale, depress the elbows down and then press into the arms to really stretch through the back of the shoulders. Taking a few breaths here, seeing if we can just rest the mind between the eyebrows. Finding a moment of stillness. The next inhale, we'll take the arms back up. And exhale, right to the other side. So left arm comes on top this time. And snaking the arms together. Inhale and exhaling. Pressing the elbows down and then pressing the forearms into each other. Closing the eyes, we'll take a couple more breaths. Beautiful. Releasing on the next inhale. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Excellent. Let's go ahead and get our strap or scarf, and we'll work a little more into the rotator cuffs. Lean in here so I can see everybody. Okay. Okay, so we're going to grab the strap about shoulder width apart and be pulling on the strap as we depress the shoulder blades away, or shoulders away from the ears. Again, we're going to keep the tailbone tucked under, engage your core a little bit here for stability. Already, we're going to feel a bit of a stretch through the back and the back of the shoulders. And then inhaling, coming up. Again, let's try and keep the shoulders down away from the ears, creating a little space there. Inhale and exhaling, deepening into those lats on the side of the body. Engage your core. Good. Inhale, center. And exhale the other side. Inhaling, center. And then exhale, we're going to drop those hands back. You can let the hands slide out on the strap as much as they need to. The lower back's going to arch a bit here. That's fine. We're opening into that chest and just dropping the hands as far back as we can. And then on our next inhale, taking it up. Exhaling. Going back to center. And we'll just repeat a few times. You can take it all the way down and then inhaling all the way up. Exhaling as the rotator cuffs warm up. We might be able to drop the strap back a little further. And then again, inhaling up. Just take as much space on that strap as you need. As you can see, I'm getting a little more in the shoulder width. My rotator cuff's been a little unhappy lately, so I'm giving it just enough space on that strap so I can work through the whole range of motion. Excellent. Beautiful. And then let's take it all the way up top on our next inhale, and we'll come into cow face arms. So we might need to, again, get our grip a little closer. I'm just going to shift so you can see me. We're going to bend the right elbow and bring the elbow out in line with the shoulder as much as we can. Tuck the tailbone down so we're flattening out the back, and then we're bending the left arm, reaching behind. Keep moving those elbows back and then pulling on the strap and getting enough space so that we can stay nice and straight through the spine and the neck here. So if we find ourselves collapsing, you just need a little more space on the strap. You can also not use the strap. If we can connect the fingertips and keep the elbows in alignment, that's great. If not, we'll stick with the strap. Looking good. Let's take a few more breaths. One more breath. And our next inhale and exhale. Release the right hand from the top and hang on to the strap with the left hand. We'll take it all the way back up. And then we're reaching from underneath. Inhaling, rolling those shoulders back and down and moving those elbows out, tucking the tailbone and pulling on the strap. Excellent. One more breath. Inhale. And exhaling, releasing down. And we can put that strap to the side. And maybe come down off the block here. You can stay on your On your blanket, we're going to start working a bit more down into the hips. Excellent. So let's start to work into the hips, just rotating around the tailbone. We can tuck the tailbone under and then press in through the chest as we come around, and then rounding, hollowing out here, and then breathing into the heart. Yeah, let's do one more in this direction. If you still need some height, you can just keep sitting on some blankets. Let's go the opposite direction. Hollowing out, just loosening up the hips, that low back. And beautiful. And then let's do some seated cat and cow. So here we are really arching through the spine, looking up towards the ceiling, inhaling, and then exhaling, rounding, grabbing onto the knees, putting a little pressure by holding on here and then pressing to the back, chin in towards the chest. And then again, inhaling, arching, exhaling, rounding. So we'll do a few more of these at your own pace. That's it, stretching the neck, the chest, back. You can also, as you're in more of the cat posture, you can shrug up one shoulder a bit and really lengthen into that shoulder blade muscles around the shoulder blade. Let's do one more each direction. Beautiful. On our next inhale, we'll come back to center and move into lion pose. One of my favorite, more fun poses, especially when you're not in a class, you can just look as crazy as you want to. So this is really to release tension in the throat, the eyes, as well as stretch through the wrists. So we'll come forward and bring the hands to the floor with the fingertips pointing in. If it's uncomfortable to be in the cross-legged position, you can come onto the knees. You can also sit on a block here. So we bring the fingertips to the floor, or sorry, the palms to the floor with the fingertips pointing back towards the body, and then we round into that cat posture, pressing through the back, chin in towards the chest, inhale, and then on our exhale, we roll the eyes back, stick out the tongue, and you're in more of your cow. So inhaling cat, and exhale. And you can really let that fire out. Breathe from the diaphragm. Yeah, we'll do a few more. So really releasing any stress, any tension in the face. Just letting out any frustrations. Let's do one more. Beautiful. And then inhale, sitting back on our haunches. Taking a breath, sitting in Vajrasana, hero pose. Just feeling that openness and energy prana that we've got circulating now through the head and the eyes, the throat. Beautiful. From here, we'll move into any version of reclined hero or Supta Vajrasana. So I'm just going to turn to this side. This is to stretch all the way through the front of the body. So you can stay on your blanket and your block. If it's helpful to stay sitting on a block. I generally like to have the blanket over the block too if I'm going to take my back all the way down, but these are going to be optional here. So we're just going to see where you're at today. So the first version would just to bring the palms behind us to the floor. As you can see, my palms are underneath my shoulders. And then we're pointing the fingers in towards the body. And then this would just, we could stay here, starting to lift up through the pelvis, engage the glutes a little bit to help lift through the pelvis, starting to stretch through the front of the body. You can let the head hang or keep looking forward. So we can stay here or take it further, coming down onto the forearms, really squeeze those shoulder blades in towards the spine. If you can make it all the way down to your supports or all the way onto the mat, we could stay here. You can also extend the arms above your head. So any version is fine. You just find what works for you. Beautiful. And maybe once we spend a couple breaths here initially, we might be able to take it further, and maybe not. This is definitely one that we work with frequently to be able to deepen a little further each time. So you can really bring the breath expanding through the front of the body. We'll spend a couple more breaths. And that's it. If you need to come out, well, let's all come out here. So we'll bring the palms to the floor if we're on our forearms, and walk the hands back. And inhale, press through the hands to lift the chest. We'll come right into a child's pose here. So we can bring the arms down to the sides to relax the shoulders, cheek to the mat. Widen the knees out. You can also come down off the block. Touch the toes together and let the knees widen. Resting the forehead or the cheek on the mat. We'll take a few breaths here. Really bringing the breath into the low back as much as we can. On the exhale, seeing if we can drop the buttocks a little closer down towards the heels. Closing the eyes and just really letting go. On the exhale, letting gravity just press us down into the floor. Beautiful. And then we'll bring the fingertips underneath the shoulders and inhaling, pressing up. Exhaling, sitting back. And move the blocks off the mat. You can keep the blanket for your knees, and if you have your socks on, maybe go ahead and take those off. And we'll come into some cat and cows. So hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. Inhaling, arching through the spine. Engaging the shoulder blades in towards the spine so the chest is moving towards the floor. Inhaling and exhaling, rounding into cat. And as always here, I want you guys to feel free to move with it. So we'll spend a few breaths here. We can drop the hips, side to side. Can lean into the wrists. We can twist a little bit, moving that shoulder towards the hip. And then the other side. We're just spending 4 or 5 breaths here with some movement. Moving between these two poses. Beautiful. Let's do a few more. Really getting, moving the spine in all directions. So that's really how yoga, the effective yoga works a lot because we're working with the spine, which all our nerves run into the spine. So when we nourish our spine, we nourish all of our organs and all of our major systems, hormonal systems, etc. If you want to drop down into a bit of a child's pose once again, we'll meet down here for a moment. And then inhaling, coming back up, we'll bring the toes to the mat, and exhale, lift those hips, and taking it up into down dog. Let's pedal the feet, walk the dog out, stretch into the calves and the ankles. You can shake the head, yes and no, just keeping everything nice and loose. Excellent. And then bending the knees, spreading the toes, tilting the tailbone up towards the ceiling as we spread the fingers and press the mat away from us, lengthening through the arms, lengthening through the back. Inhaling, and then exhaling. If we can start to straighten out the legs a bit, just as much as those hamstrings will let us, and maybe even a little dynamic movement, bending and unbending. Beautiful. And then on our next inhale, walk the hands back towards the feet, coming into ragdoll. We'll grab onto the elbows, bring the rib cage onto the thighs, keeping the knees bent, and then letting the head hang. And then we'll unbend one leg, shift over to that leg, and then bend the other side. So just shifting side to side. Really surrendering to gravity here, just letting gravity lengthen our spine, our neck. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Excellent. We're going to take it all the way up to standing from here. So shifting the weight into your heels and then letting the spine round as we roll on up, pressing through the feet and coming up to standing. Give you guys leave my feet a little bit. There we go. Beautiful. Just take a moment to shake it out. And then we'll bring the feet hip width apart. Inhale those arms up. And just as we were doing on the mat, we'll go ahead and grab onto the wrist. Reaching up, lengthening, inhaling. You can also bring the feet together, just feeling what feels more comfortable, stable for you. Inhale and exhaling, leaning over, coming into a standing side bend stretch here. Rotating, looking up towards the right, over the arm. Excellent. Inhaling center, switching hands, and exhaling over to the other side. So we're engaging the glutes a bit here and really pressing that hip over to the side. Good. Inhale, center. And exhale. Let's deepen on this one. Dropping that left arm open, then reaching out through those right fingertips. Inhaling up. And exhaling over to the other side. Good. Inhaling up to center. Bring the arms all the way up. And exhale. Bring the palms together, dropping them to the heart. Taking a moment, just resting in mountain pose for a moment. Maybe closing the eyes. Feeling into your feet. Feeling that connection to the earth beneath us and using our breath for a moment to inhale the energy of the earth up through the feet. On the exhale, releasing any tension down into the floor, softening through the face, the heart. Excellent. And then let's take a wide stance here. There we go. So aligning the edges of the feet with the edges of the mat, pointing the toes forward. Inhaling the arms up, we'll come kind of more into a star pose. This is a bit of the tricky part. There we go, it's online. So we're reaching out through those fingertips, inhale, and then exhale, coming into wide forward fold. We can drop the fingertips to the mat. You can also grab your block here if you need some height. Good, first we're gonna lengthen through the spine. So try and flatten out the back, press through the edges of the feet to really open the back of the legs. Reaching out through the crown of the head, neck in line with the spine. Good, inhale, and then exhale, we'll deepen down. If you need to bend those knees as we come down, that's fine. If the hamstrings are really tight, you can always rest your head on the block here. You can grab onto the ankles, or take it even further, dropping the crown of the head towards the floor. You can also reach those hands through the space and use the traction of the hands on the mat or the floor to pull your chest forward. So finding what version works for you. We'll take a few more breaths here. Looking good. So let's lift up a bit here. Again, use your block, your fingertips on the floor, and turn out those right toes. Inhale, and then exhale, we'll come down into Skandasana, our side lunge. You can take that block with you. You can also sit on a block or two, okay? So this is, there's the tightness in the hips. If we need a little height, we just go ahead and sit on that block, even two. And then we're moving this right knee out. We can scooch that foot forward so that the knee is under the ankle as much as we can. So if we're not on the blocks, it would look something like this. And you can also bring your block to the front for a little support. So that's it. Good. And then we can stay here and breathe into it. We can also do some variations with the arms, opening the arms out. You can bring the right fingertips to the floor and then bring that left arm up, twisting here and pressing a little bit with that elbow into that inner thigh. Just try not to press directly on your knee joint there. And again, if this is, too low, we can stay high on this too. You could also rest your arm here or use your block here. All right, you're probably feeling it now. Let's take it over to the other side. So press through that right foot. Walk on over, take your blocks with you as you need to, and then we'll drop the tailbone down. We try and lift through the chest. So try not to get too rounded here, dropping down to the floor. Try to lift through the chest. Use your fingertips of your block to help stay lifted. And that nice stretch in there. And then if we want to come into a bit of a twist, left fingertips come to the floor of the block. Extend the right arm, look up towards that right hand. Excellent, inhale. And exhale down. And then we'll just move a little bit between these two. You can come into your wide forward fold. Inhaling, walking on over. And then exhaling, dropping down. Let's do one more, take it to the other side. You can also balance here. You can bring your hands to the heart, again, pressing into the calf or the inner thigh. Finding some stillness. Excellent. Looks like we have someone coming. We're going to take it into squat pose. So you can go ahead and bring both legs out, and then again, sit on your blocks if you need to. I'm going to let Naomi in here. Okay, just let her in. Excellent. So coming into Malasana or squat pose. Again, get as much height as you need, and then we can press those elbows in towards the inner thighs, shoulders away from the ears, hands at the heart. Excellent. Let's take one more breath. Good. And then if we're sitting on the block, we can go ahead and remove the block. Bring the fingertips behind the hips and go ahead and sit on the mat and extend those legs out and shake out the legs. Excellent. We're just going to do a couple more asanas here, and then we'll take it into Shavasana. So working with Marichasana pose. This is a version on a forward fold here. So we can bend the left knee here. Bring the foot up and in as much as we can. And then we'll get this foot activated, reaching the toes up towards the ceiling. You can also use your strap here. My doggy's not happy. And then inhaling the arms up. Reaching up, lengthening through the spine. Exhaling, coming forward. We could just stay here in a forward fold. If we want to try coming into the full pose, we are going to make a little bind with the arm. So we extend this left arm and then bring it out to this side with the palm facing back and the tricep pressing into the calf. You could also just stay here. If you want to try coming into the full bind, you can grab that strap and we bring it around. The other arm comes around and then we grab the strap. You can also grab, interlace, grab onto the fingertips here. Oh, here's my doggies. So finding what version works for you here. If this is too much, you can also open up here and rotate a bit out. You can also, again, just be in a forward fold. You can even drop this foot down and come into a forward fold. So finding what works for you. I'm going to let these doggies out. Be right back. Come on.
Yeah. I thought it was.
Hi, Naomi.
Hi.
Yeah, we're actually towards the end of the class. It started at 9:30. I have trouble hearing you, but I think we'll continue on. We have about 10 more minutes, and then we can check in after. Okay?
Great. Great.
Beautiful. So we're here in Marichasana pose. We'll take one more breath. And then inhaling, releasing up. And exhale, release that leg out. Shake it out. And then we'll come on to the other side. So bending the right knee, bringing that foot up and in. Lengthening through the spine. Activating these left toes up towards the ceiling for a nice alignment in that left leg. Inhaling the arms up. Reaching up out of the spine and the rib cage. And exhaling, coming forward. So again, we might just stay here in a forward fold, or we'll make the bind by bringing, really leaning down, bringing the tricep to the shin here, and then just reaching around. There's no big deal if the fingertips don't meet. We can just press the back of the hands into the back. But if we have the strap handy, we use the strap here. And then really still reaching forward, the crown of the head moving towards the toes. Take 2 more breaths. Good. And then we'll release the arms, reaching up, inhaling, coming all the way up. And exhaling, releasing down, releasing the legs, shaking it out. Beautiful. So we will end again with an inversion for asanas, and then we'll move into Shavasana. We can move into plow pose, or as we did last week, take a more gentle approach and do waterfall pose. So if we're coming into legs up the wall or waterfall pose, just bring the blocker blanket to the low back, tee the arms out, and then bring the feet up towards the ceiling. This would be our more gentle approach here. If we want to get deeper into the low back and up into the thoracic spine, we might come into plow pose. You can also place your block for your feet above your head, arms come to the sides, and then pressing through the hands to lift the hips. Roll those shoulders, walk the elbows in, support your low back, bring your weight onto your shoulders as much as you can, and then we drop the feet down towards the block of the floor. So once you're there, you want to keep your neck straight. So I know you might be looking at the screen, but once you're up there, you want to keep the neck straight and avoid these poses if you have any real neck issues, okay? So then you just want to do feet up the wall. Beautiful. So we'll hold here for a few breaths. Just allowing that energy that we've worked up in our legs or our standing asanas to drain down into the pelvis, the low back. And that's it. As Monica and Erica do, we can do some variations with the legs in either pose. We can straddle the legs. If we're up in plow pose, we can straddle the legs out. We can bring one leg up towards the ceiling. We can also bring the soles of the feet together in a butterfly position. Knees in towards the forehead or the chest. We're just taking a couple more breaths. And when we're ready to come down, or if we're in plow pose, we want to release off those shoulders. So move the elbows out and bring the palms to the floor. Engage your core. Try to come down with some control. And then releasing the legs down towards the floor, soles of the feet. We can drop those knees side to side. And find our way into a comfy position for Shavasana. One of my favorites is reclined bound angle. So we come into a butterfly position, bringing the soles of the feet together, arms out to the sides. You can also use your blanket for some support on your head or your chest or even on top of you if you're in a chilly environment. Beautiful. So once we're in a nice comfortable position, closing the eyes, coming back to our breath. Maybe releasing out through the mouth for our first few breaths. allowing any tension in our mind, our body, even emotional tension to release down into the earth. Seeing as we lie here if we can stay completely present to our breath, to the sensations in our body. Just letting the mind fall open, so we don't need to be harsh on ourselves when we have a thought arise. Just gently noticing that we're thinking, coming back to our breath, and then just releasing that thought down into the earth. So we'll just rest here in silence for another 3 or 4 breaths. Beautiful. Let's see if we can move up to our seated posture, staying very grounded still and in our body. So we can start to make our way onto our side. And as we come up again, just pressing up. Be keeping our eyes closed, feeling that connection to the earth still coming through our seat, our legs. And sitting in our meditation posture. Inhale the arms up. And exhaling down. Bring the hands to the heart. Then let's bring that energy, the prana that we have worked up into our body through our practice, into our hands, and then going ahead and placing that anywhere on our body that needs a little extra attention. That could include our heart and our mind. So if our heart is feeling tender today, we might place the hands there, or if the mind is still feeling very active, or if there's an area that our body that needs some healing energy. So we'll just take a few breaths. Sending ourselves some unconditional love today. Just feeling tenderness for ourselves and all that we go through. And then taking a moment to extend that sense of love and compassion out into the world, touching us all here, even through our computer devices. And then just setting the intention of sharing this same sense of love, connection, peace with others that we encounter today, and even our lovely animals. So thank you all for coming. We will end with a bow. Namaste. Beautiful, ladies. I'm going to go ahead and unmute folks so I can hear you. Unmute. What did you say, Erica?
I'm glad you were muting it
Because we had sound effects.
Yeah, it happens. As you heard my little whiny, there's like Tico, Naomi in the other room, and he was starting to get antsy.
We thought, is that our dog? No, it cannot be.
Yeah, I have our two boxers and then my mom's little Lhasa Apso terrier in the other room. So they were really good. I was a little nervous. Beautiful. So I thank you so much for coming. I'd love to hear any feedback you guys have. If you need to take off, that's fine.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, how was this for you, Erica and Monica? This is your first time, and Ruth, you were first time coming.
Oh, it works for me. I don't know for her, but for Sundays, yes. But
yeah, Sundays it's perfect.
Mondays she works in the morning. Me too. We both do. So it wouldn't be able. We
Just
wouldn't
like
be able to do the
Sundays.
flow. But Sundays works.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Ruth?
Yeah, Sundays
I
work too. I'm so glad because like I had no idea how much tension I had until we did that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is good.
Yeah, I know. My neck has really been activated recently too.
Yeah.
I was like, let's get into the neck today. And I was gonna ask Curiosity. I think she took off because she said oh, there you are. You hurt your neck, huh?
I can't hear it. It's coming in bursts.
Oh,
so I
no.
don't know anything.
It is her way.
It might be your internet connection, huh? Or mine.
It was fine during the practice, but now it's like
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know what anybody's saying.
Can you hear me okay right this second?
Kind of, yeah.
I was just gonna ask how your neck. You said you hurt your neck the other day.
Yeah, this morning it was like in my hip today. So
You want to come Sunday?
there were some poses that were like, ah.
Yeah. And we were actually gonna do frog pose, which is maybe better we didn't today, which is the like super intense one with the legs out to the sides. So that's maybe good we
The
didn't.
sound is doing their thing again.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. It must be because everyone's on.
Yeah.
Unmuted. Perfect, ladies. So from here, I'm going to send you guys invitations for the classes in March and April.
Okay.
And you can sign up for as many as you like. There's 1 week that I'll be out of town, so we won't have class that day, the week of the equinox, March 21st.
So good.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
wait
talk
for
to
you.
you, Curiosity, because I'll talk to you. So I'll send you an invite, and I am going to start to charge for the classes, but it's a sliding scale. So anywhere between $5 and $25 per class. You decide what you can do.
Yeah.
And you can sign up for as many as you like and just multiply what you want to give. And I'll have a PayPal link there. So you can just do by PayPal.
Okay.
And does that sound good to folks?
Or do you have Venmo, Cash too, or?
No, with PayPal es lo mismo.
What'd you say, Monica?
So do you have Venmo and Cash App as well, or just PayPal?
I can do Venmo too. It's
Yeah.
generally for business. You usually use PayPal because of the guarantees and stuff, but we can do Venmo as well.
Okay, I'll Venmo you. It's easier for, that's what I use all the in and out.
Yeah, that's totally fine. And I'll send out that invite, and I'll put the link to both of those. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and if you have any friends that want to join, I'm still gonna offer like a free class for the first class. So if someone just wants to come and try it out,
Okay.
and so feel free to share the link. And I see my connection's a little unstable. And
Did you record this?
yeah, I did record this. So if you do want to still register for the Monday classes and just receive the recording to do on your own later, you can always do that if you want more of the power strength.
Okay.
Great. I'm sorry that I missed up on the time. I've been back and forth to California, so I'm just screwed up with the
That's
times.
okay, Naomi. It's definitely been I have to get used to it too, all these time differences and everybody coming from different places. So totally understandable. So maybe you can come tomorrow, same time. It'll be more of a power practice, but we're going to ease into it too. So it won't be too.
I'll leave a timer on the phone.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, everyone. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I really look forward to seeing you next week.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Kara. It was
Yeah, and I'm gonna actually put out one more thing, sorry, is that I am gonna start to do online personal training as well. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna start to offer a free training next week just on Facebook Live. How to get strong if you have like joint issues or injuries or things like that, how to, you know, still be able to work out, get strong, and work through some of those issues with some corrective
Yeah.
exercise. So I will tag you on that. If you're not already on Facebook with me, I think we're all connected here, but I will let you know when I'm live. You can always look back, and then I'll let you know more about training if you're interested.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Have a beautiful Sunday.